see the shining light. It's time for the children to blink and ride.
Welcome to the Rainbow Land Museum. Many of you fans have been asking me for weeks, if not months, to do a tour video. So that's what I'm here to do today. And I have an assistant tour guide. This is Skeletor, who loves the Rainbow Land Museum. So what I'm going to do is go around all of the rooms slowly. I'm not necessarily going to point out every single item because that would take all day, but if there are any items you have questions about, just give me the timestamp part of the video where that item is and ask your question and I will be happy to answer it. So here on the first level, I have mostly vintage items, but as you'll see, there are some that are not. Like those pint glasses and the Snuggie. Those are from the last, let me think, 5 years? Maybe 10. Color Castles from 2003-2004 line. And I will point out a few interesting things as I go along, such as these jellies right here. Those are actually from the Philippines, and they're little jelly candies. I have never opened it, obviously, and they are probably disgusting by now, and you would never want to eat them, but they're interesting. Space is limited in here, so I'm going to try to get as close to these items as I can. And you'll see some items I have duplicates of, as I have like one in the packaging and one out with the little soap boat. But I also do have a PDF that lists every single item in my collection. And that is available on rainbowbrite.net, my website. If you go under Collect or Collectibles and then click Rainbow Land Museum, there are pictures, there's the PDF, some additional info. And I suppose I will be adding a link to this video as well. Now, not everything stands up great, as you can imagine, especially with age. Some of these items are having to lean on each other for support. But that's what you do when you've got way too many items and you just want to make them fit. But I've tried my best to make it, you know, aesthetically pleasing and organized. So some of these are kind of grouped, kind of like the laser discs were that I showed a minute ago. And others are just kind of spread out all over the place. And some of the items you're going to see are very rare. You may not have seen before. Or some you may have never seen in the package. I collect, as you can see, a little bit of everything Rainbow Brite. One thing I really love are the puzzles and the books, the greeting cards. Those are some items I've tried to concentrate on over the years. But when you come across adorable things, you just can't say no sometimes. There's actually a picture of this on Instagram, and the little girl that was the child model posted it and said, "Hey, this was me when I was like 5," which I think is adorable. So this closet is very messy, but briefly I will show you. This is where I put all of my Rainbow Brite hoodies. Back here, all of my t-shirts, mostly in order by color. I've got a few new ones stuck in here that I've not organized yet. Then I've got some costumes. Some of those costumes are not Rainbow Brite, but you can tell a few of these are more random costume accessories. My wedding dress is stuck in there, you know. So that's how I store all of my t-shirts and hoodies, that kind of thing. So I've got the trash can down here. So here we're getting into all of my books. Well, these are part of them, but thankfully books are very easy to stack, as you can see, because, you know, this is a bookcase, is what it's made for. So they don't take up much room, whereas other things like some of the puzzles and so forth take up more. I'll pull this out a little bit. There we go. So here's another item of note. This copy of the Paint a Rainbow in Your Heart record is actually signed by Pat Fraley, who did the voice of Lurky. He got in touch with me several years ago and just said he had an extra copy of it and would I like it? I said, well, yes I would, as long as you sign it. So he did, and he's fantastic. I think he's a fantastic guy, and I hope I get to meet him someday. This is also an interesting item. It's not anything official that was sold. Basically what someone did was, and I'll show you the bottom of it, this is just plaster. They took the Rainbow Brite cake pan, which I showed you a little while ago, poured plaster in it, and then once it dried they painted it. So it could be like a wall hanging, but it's very heavy, so I didn't want to put it on the wall just yet. So here I'm trying to keep all of the audio stuff together. There were the radios, then the records. Sorry, I'm getting some solar flare here. Here are a few more records and some cassette tapes. This is the Brazilian record, straight in the back, the one that's in Portuguese. And some more box dolls up top. Let's go across the top here. So now we've got the lunchbox collection. And lunch bags. And most of my puzzles are over here. But as you've seen, they're spread out everywhere. Whoops, I'm running into stuff behind me. Here are a bunch more books and puzzles. Over here, I've mostly got the paperback, like coloring books, activity books, catalogs, things like that. On the other shelf were the hardcover books. And the oven, which I love so much. I'm so happy it fit perfectly into that space. So now we're going to go back around because we have these glass cases in the middle of the room. And I will show you those, which I also have bags around. Again, this is a mix of vintage and newer items. And it's not that these items are necessarily in the glass cases because they're more special, it's just basically they fit better in them. That's the only reason. Because some items are very difficult to display, as you can imagine. I have, in another room some He-Man action figures, and, with action figures all you have to do is stand them up. Or you can put them in cool positions or put them around play sets, that kind of thing. But when it comes to a hodgepodge of items like Rainbow Brite merchandise has, you have to get creative. There's another backpack. Go around the other side. Here's another backpack. As you can see, some of these are getting a bit crowded as I continue to collect more things and try to find room to display them. But like these last couple shelves, I tried to group the 2003, 2004 merchandise together, but there's some other stuff mixed in. Sorry about the glare. It's an advent calendar over there. Romeo's down here with the Valentines, as you can imagine. And then down here I've got more of the Target $1 items from, I guess that was 2009, 2010. There's another bag. Those items over there were also Target items, most of them. Okay, let me show you. I've also got some art around the Rainbow Land Museum. This is actually a photograph I took out in my backyard with one of my dolls. Let's close this door. So hopefully we will not be disturbed by the kitties anymore. And now we're going to head upstairs. Now the stairwell lent itself very nicely to be a bit of a photo gallery or art gallery type. And I've also got some wall sticker type things. But most of these are original pieces, although some are prints. But this Murky and Lurky is original. This one is a print. This is original. And this one is just a poster. But this poster was only given out at San Diego Comic-Con, I believe back in 2010. So I was lucky enough to get a friend to grab one for me because I did not attend. And this is an original painting, and I'm pretty certain was the very first piece of Rainbow Brite fan art that I purchased. So it's still my favorite. And it's got glitter. How awesome is that? I wish I remembered who painted it. It's just got some initials down here. Yeah, from 2002. I've had that one a good long while. This is also an original. Again, sorry for the glare. Let me go this direction. You can see it better. And this is also an original painting by my good friend Michael, who is so awesome. Donated that to the museum. So as you're looking down, you can see the artwork on the left there, and then I want to show you these spindles that I painted after we bought this house. Because how could you just leave them white? No, they're much better at rainbow. And I've also added some artwork on the right. Let me show that to you real quick. Most of these are prints. This is a print. That one is original. This is an original I actually got at Dragon Con, I believe last year. Yeah, 2014. That is a print. Now, this is another photograph that I took and got printed onto a canvas. Let me sit down. Here we go. We've got another print. This is a print. This is actually a folder. You see it says By Changes. That's the company that made a lot of the apparel back in the early 2000s, so the t-shirts and things like that. So if you open that up, you actually see some t-shirt designs in it. This is also a print. I find a lot of the artwork on Etsy. Just if you're curious, this is a Zazzle print right here. That's original from Hallmark. This is an original painting. And then this photograph was taken by someone else. They were selling it on art cards, but I wanted a larger version of it, so I purchased a large digital format of the image and then got it printed onto a canvas because I thought it was just too cute. I'm sure you will agree. So as you come up the stairs, Rainbow Brite herself is there to greet you. I love this cutout so much. And I've got a few posters all around. This one actually came out of a greeting card. Over here I've got some animation cells from the cereal commercial. Those backgrounds, or that background is the same one for each. That does not go with those cells. But it's cute and it came with them when I bought them, so I just left them in there. And got my little TV tray here. Alright, so let's go over these shelves. That's another Zazzle print that I got framed. As you can see, you're starting to see some of the new merchandise show up as well. And that's another art print, but it just went too perfectly with the itty bitties not to put them beside each other. This is actually a bootleg Rainbow Brite doll that I got on eBay. The seller did not realize it was a bootleg until I notified them, and then they pulled them because they thought that they were originals. They were very apologetic, but it's such a good reproduction, I'm actually happy to have it. Some dolls I have multiples of out in the museum just because I either had some extra space or I just wanted some loose ones out, because you'll see in a moment I've got those same characters elsewhere. Or, for instance, that's the star shoe type patio green. And the other one I have out is the regular shoe type, so sometimes that's the reason I'll have multiples out, because there are slight differences. Now this horse is not Starlight, as you can imagine, but it is a knockoff that I've had since childhood, so it gets to be in the museum as well. I had a Starlight as a doll, because I have a picture of me receiving it for my birthday, but I must have lost it or ruined it or something, and instead of spending that much money to get me another, my parents got me a knockoff. But, you know, I've always loved it, so not a complaint. Here's some of the feel-in merchandise, or promo merchandise, I should say. These items were not sold, but they sent me a few promo items when that new cartoon came out last year. Now this shelf is special because these are the 3 dolls, apart from that knockoff Starlight, that have survived since my childhood. These are actually my 3 dolls from when I was a kid. And as you can see, part of Romeo's fur is melted. I took him in the bath with me. I thought that would be fun. And then we went to hair dry, or, you know, dry him with a hairdryer. And halfway through, I realized it was ruining him. I grabbed him from my mother and ran out of the room. It wasn't her fault. She didn't know it would do that. But, yeah. He's a little messed up, but I still love him. And that was just a photograph I found on eBay, I think, and I just thought it was cool. Oh, and this art piece back here was done by a little girl at Dragon Con. I think she was 12, if I remember right. And she was out in Artist Alley taking commissions, so of course I asked her to draw Rainbow Brite. And she even knew who Rainbow Brite was without me telling her, so made it extra special. Here are some more books. Now the small books are upstairs, just because it made more sense. So a lot of these are foreign. The first few are from the UK. The ones with the pink spines are from France. But then the smaller ones in the back, those are most of the US, like cassette and record books. Now here is my costume from when I was 6 years old. My mom made that for me, and I've kept it all these years. So I finally found a mannequin to display it on. There's another poster. Now, these shelves over here and the large ones downstairs are all IKEA shelves. They're just the Billy bookcases. But the ones we're going to see now were custom made by my husband when we moved into this house. He knew how much I wanted tons of shelf space, and there just wasn't enough, so he made some to fit the space really well. So on this, in the section where you're going to see mostly dolls, there are also some PVC figures mixed in. You can probably hear the cat. He is upset that I locked him out. He will be okay. Now here's another special item. This is my prototype Rainbow Brite doll. A fan in Australia got a hold of her somehow. Didn't realize what she was. Sent me some pictures asking if I had seen this doll before, if I had any information. And I said, no, she looks completely new to me. So she showed me some more pictures, and my friend Galacticat, who collects prototypes, helped me determine that it was a prototype, and I purchased it from her, and she's just gorgeous. I love her so much. But she's my only prototype. I have more pictures of her online if you want to see that in a little more detail. This is a design sheet for Red Butler. Again, I've got dolls of all generations mixed together, but sometimes I like just putting colors together. That's obviously a custom Stormy and Sky Dancer, and little rainbow hand sprite. Now down here, and you're going to see all the way around, I've got buckets. And basically the buckets are for items that I couldn't display any other way, and I did not want to just stick in a closet. So I'll show you in a few moments some of the items in the buckets. But this wall is mostly boxed dolls from the later generations. This canary yellow is actually a sample doll. You can see her eyes are hand painted. I'll show you the other one so you can see the difference. No white in this one's eyes. I actually like this one much better. But sadly, that's not the design they went with at the end. Down in the corner, I just have a basket of duplicates, spares, naked dolls. So if there's ever a small child visiting that needs to hold on to something so that they don't pull all the things off the shelves, they can hold one of those. And behind here, I also have a collection of rainbow glass. It's just something I've collected over the last several years. I have kind of a fascination with colored glass, so I had to get all the colors of the rainbow. So this is not a Billy bookcase. I think this was one from Target. It's the type where you can get the cloth drawers of different colors to put stuff in. So as you can see, here's the little art card of that print that I blew up for the canvas. And now I have the Truffle Shuffle mug to go with the old Deca cup. So these are some bootleg VHS tapes. Those are not official. And this box is something a friend of mine made for me. It was super sweet. It's got some glittery artwork on it. It's so adorable. These buttons I believe I also got off of Etsy. I think my friend Kat made this little tag for me. Let's see, where was I? I'm going this direction, okay. Now we're getting into videos. This is also the shelf where all of my videos are. So these are DVDs. As most of you know, we've never gotten an American DVD release of the episodes, except for the one that came with these dolls. I don't know if hers is still in the package. I don't see it. But yeah, those dolls came with the episode Star Sprinkled. But other than that, we have not gotten the episodes on DVD in the US. We have gotten the movie, though, Rainbow Brite and the Star Stealer, although it is now out of print, sadly. But in other countries, they've gotten them multiple times over. And then there's also a bootleg. You've probably seen that one online. But no, that is not an official release, FYI. And these are mixed in because they're like box sets that came with other cartoons. But yeah, we've got British over, where am I? Okay, British ones. This is from Mexico, and these are from Australia. So they're from all over the place. And then we've got some of my VHS tapes. More DVDs. But all of those are British. Then in my bowl here, I've got these lovely buttons that my friend Michael made that say, if it'll focus, Rainbow Land Museum, Apex, North Carolina. So if you visit me, you'll get one of these buttons. Totally adorable. Thank you, Michael. He already has one because he did come and visit me while he was on a work trip. It was awesome. More VHSs, dishes. Oh yeah, some of those are Betamax, if you're wondering why some are shorter than the others. I do not have a Betamax player, sadly, but I don't have a Laserdisc player either, and I still have Laserdiscs. So, let me give you a wider view of this room real quick, so you can see where we're going to go next. And I have to show you my sun lamp, because I just think it's adorable. At nighttime, everything kind of has a yellow glow to it, but worth it. Oh yes, I was going to show you the buckets. So I'll just pull out a few random ones. A lot of these are pajamas or kids' clothing from the 80s. Because again, how are you going to display that otherwise? My closet's already full down there. Yeah, almost all of these are little nightgowns and outfits. Let's see, this is adult. It's a pajama set. But almost all of that is children's vintage clothing. And then I got extras of the Target $1 items because, you know, they were $1. But I still won't use them because, you know, I'm like that. I want to keep everything pristine if I can. But that's what these several buckets are full of, is just extras of the dollar items from Target. And then, let's see what's over here. Some extra stickers, an extra lanyard. Sometimes I do get multiples of an item. There's some extra dishes and tapes. Beach ball. But I don't necessarily want to display all the duplicates. Now here's a funny bucket. Yes, this is literally filled with Rainbow Brite doll heads. These are from, there was an old, was probably from 2 items. I think there was an old purse or backpack that had the Rainbow Brite head on it. And also there was a sweater, I believe. So on the back, there's just these holes that you could sew these heads onto whatever you want. But these came from my friend Jennifer in the Philippines, because there was a manufacturing plant that was getting rid of them. So I think she bought all they had and then has sold off some of them here and there to fans. So I don't necessarily have any plans to do anything with them at this point, but I'm happy to have them. These are more duplicates of the German radio play tapes, which I'll show you my actual collection of in a minute. Here's some duplicate itty bitties. And this, oh yeah, this is a child's rain jacket, raincoat. This is an actual Rainbow Brite bucket. There are 2 beach buckets, and I don't have the other one, sadly. But this one's really cute. The rest of these are just little beach buckets I got from Michael's on clearance after summer last year. So now we are going to go through the rainbow to the rest of the Rainbow Land Museum, which is also my office. My desk is a hodgepodge of a mess right now, but this is where I do my podcasting. That's what the mic is for. This is where I record my review videos. And there's always a bit of junk on it, just because this is my staging place for when I buy new collectibles, but before I've added them to my collectibles list, like these stickers I recently got. I always put them here first so I remember to add them to my list of collectibles before I find a spot for them in the museum. But there's also some He-Man items left in here because I used to have some He-Man figures in this room, but I have since moved them to another room and I just haven't moved the cells yet. But anyway, here's the rest of the Rainbow Brite stuff. So here's the bed, which this actually used to be my husband's bed when he was a child. And his family still had it, and we didn't really have a good place in the house for it until I said, hey, I've got a lot of Rainbow Brite bedding that I've never been able to put on display. Let's just put it up there so it works perfectly. So this bed does not get slept on. I think my niece and nephew have slept on it like once when they were visiting, but it's just for display purposes. And there's the curtains. Sorry, I know it's going to make it really dark for a second. And this is the Starlight pillow doll that my cat loves to death. I have another one of him stuck away in the closet because she gets that one dirty. And these are just some random rainbow items. They're not Rainbow Brite, but I have not found another place for them yet. So at least for now, the jumbo is going here. I moved the strawberry shortcake pillow doll to the other side of the room because she really didn't belong over here anyway. But I think she works well over here, especially with those big pillow dolls. But again, you can see how huge she is in comparison because those dolls are pretty darn massive themselves. And there's another poster. And yeah, we can start at the bottom and go up. So this is the 18-inch red bottom doll that I had in a recent review video. And here's the new Hallmark Rainbow Brite doll on the left, along with some vintage items. Over here to the side are some Zazzle binders. because I just, again, haven't found a great spot to put them yet. So for the time being, they're there. But here's the new itty bitties. And my Chinese twink with the flesh-toned face. And that's the backdrop that came with the 4-pack of itty bitties. There's probably a better use for it, but for now, that's what I'm doing with it. And that was part of the book cover that I cut off to get the leg warmers out. And there's the book. And the leg warmers. And again, I still have some other collectibles up here that I haven't found another spot for. These are just the little baby unicorn figurines that I've been collecting for years. And they're just adorable, so they kind of fit in. The drums, not so much, but I like them anyway. On the door here, again, that's not Rainbow Brite, it's just Rainbow, but it's cute. And this is a wall scroll that I got, I think, off of eBay several years ago. Sadly, I have not seen them for sale again in quite a long time, but I really think that artwork is adorable. So here are the German radio play tapes I was mentioning before. And I've added the new Clippies up there as well. One of the itty bitties. Let me zoom in a little bit here so you can see the ornaments, the buttons, the jewelry. Now here's all my greeting cards. Thankfully they stand up pretty well. There's a few little story pamphlets there as well. It's not all greeting cards, but it's mostly greeting cards. There's the new Rainbow Brite and Twink. The new Starlights. As you can see, one is taller than the other, like I was mentioning in my recent review, but not a huge difference. I got these flip-flops not long ago. They're so cute. These are just some extra books. They're not unique or anything. I just haven't found another place to put them yet. That's the new Truffle Shuffle lunchbox. And another of the 16-inch dolls, because I have 3 of them now. And then over here is just a random Hello Kitty guitar I've had for a while, some other Pillow dolls, and I guess this is the last item, is this poster. So, if you have any questions, give me a timestamp or take a screenshot and let me know what your question is. I will be happy to answer it. And I hope you have enjoyed this tour. Oh, real quick, sorry I didn't point this out. Just a bit more artwork. This is an original somebody made probably for their child. It's just a design painted onto a piece of wood, which is really, really cute. This is a print that I just like the style of. And this, again, is another homemade item. But I love that someone took the time to cut that so meticulously and then paint it. These are just random things I've come across online over the years. I'm not sure if I stopped on all of these pillow dolls. My apologies. These are the type that you had to sew together down here, and the big Twink and Rainbow and Lurky. And then the pillow sham. Okay, I really think that is everything. But again, let me know if you have any questions. This has been fun. I hope it's been fun for you too. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.